Hi guys, it's Addie Smith here with Coach Chase Brooks from men's soccer, and we're going to do a quick season recap for you. Coach, you had just beat VCU the Sunday before the tournament. Do you think that momentum was going to get you through? What happened in that game against VCU that Thursday?
Yeah, VCU is a tough team to play against. We experienced them a week before, less than a week before actually, at home. We were able to get the result 3-0. We had a lot of momentum on our side in front of our home crowd. It was a win that we needed in order to make a splash into the A10 tournament, make sure we got in. And then it was always going to be tough to beat them a second time. Again, less than a week apart, on a tough field at the University of Dayton. The turf just wasn't quite ideal at the end of the season. And so, it was a tough game. Our guys battled hard, though. We were right there in the mix, and it just wasn't our day, and sometimes that happens in soccer. But the guys worked hard. It was a great way to go out in the A10 tournament against one of the top teams.
You got to be pretty happy, though, because you do have so much of your core coming back next year. You do have Colin, you have Alex, you have Austin, you have Carter Sell. Can you talk about how it's going to be nice to have the core of juniors and sophomores who were there this year coming into the next season?
Yeah, anytime you have a transition, you're always looking at who within that group that you've inherited are the guys that are going to step up and really rise to the occasion. And thankfully, we have a large group of guys that have done that. And those are guys that we're going to lean on heavily moving forward. Couple that with the guys that we're bringing in. We're really excited about that squad that we have coming back next season, and really looking forward to getting everybody here and getting after it in the fall, and seeing which of the returners is going to be the guys that step up as leaders within the team, and who's going to help us get us over that hump.
And can you kind of talk about the two big games on that Friday and Sunday before the A10 tournament? That big game against Mason, and then that game against VCU. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, I think it's a great weekend of home soccer for us. That weekend was. George Mason and VCU ended up being the two teams that represented the A10 in the NCAA tournament. They were two games that we absolutely needed if we were going to make it into the A10 tournament. And to come out at home against George Mason and get a 1-1 result was, I think, a solid result. I think both teams will walk away from that game thinking they could have gotten all the points, but it wasn't meant to be. But you're absolutely excited to take that result going into Sunday against a high-flying VCU team, a high-scoring VCU team. And again, the guys, for them to bounce back the way they did against a very tough side, to win the game 3-0 and in the emphatic fashion that we did was absolutely outstanding. I think really helped set a tone for this coming spring and what we're looking to do in the spring, as well as going into the fall.
And can you kind of talk about the guys whose it was their first seasons on the Duquesne soccer program? We have Ryan Merrifield, who had a great year, and then we have Chris D'Alessio, who just had a breakout towards the end of the conference season. Then you also have Kadeem, who switched over from from basketball to soccer. Can you kind of talk about their impact a little bit?
Yeah, you're always looking at what new guys are going to step in and step up. Kadeem, obviously, is probably the easiest to talk about, standing at 6'6", 6'7". He's easily one of the first guys you see when you walk on the field. And, for him, it's just about his work ethic. His work ethic was tremendous, and you could see him improving week in, week out, and that's how I think you got the results from him that you got towards the end of the season. Ryan Merrifield, who transferred in from Niagara, obviously experienced some quality up at Niagara, winning a championship there, was able to bring in just a different type of mentality, just something that something we needed, a little bit of a fighter's mentality. Chris Alessio stepped up and did extremely well, played multiple roles for us this year. Great athleticism. Then you got guys like Tomas De Velarde, who I think is going to be one of those guys that the conference is going to have to look out for years to come. Bendik Hellstrom, who's another one. I mean, there's just so much quality in our young players right now that we're, like I said, couple that with those returners that you talked about earlier, the guys that are going to be rising seniors and juniors that they've been through the fights before, and I think we're really looking to start to build something now. And 9-8-1 was a good year. I think everybody can be happy about that year. But if we're truly going to achieve our ultimate objective, which is to win an A10 championship, then we can't settle for that type of a year. There is a difference. So we're excited, and I know I've said that word a lot so far, but we're excited to get the guys back in the fall and really get going.
And I know you kind of talked about Tomas, and some people kind of describe your style of soccer as like a European style of soccer. I don't know if you know that, but a couple people would describe it as a European style of soccer, and then you do have the French, and you have Josh from Sweden, and you have all of those people. Can you kind of talk about the elements that they bring a little bit?
Well, we obviously the American style is a little bit more athletic. Dependent on who you talk to, it's always going to be described as athletic. Some people think we're a little bit more direct as far as an American style of play. We definitely here at Duquesne try to play soccer. We try to knock the ball around. We try to build it up out of the back. Find our mids, play through our mids. We don't want to be bypassing them constantly. And that's, I think, where it gives guys like Thomas De Villardi a chance to shine and show what he can do. Tremendous quality. He's a guy that I think the MLS scouts will be looking at pretty heavily over the next few years. He just brings a lot of quality, a lot of savviness to the field, and really helps things run. And again, it helps that, we have players from all over this country and all over the world. And we do that because, we want to create this melting pot of talent and flavor. And really, I think if you bring all of those cultures together and expect the best out of them, then you're going to get good things. And I think that's what you've started to see this year, especially in the latter portion of the season, was really that blend start to come together and start to see the different styles. And it was pretty neat, I think, to see at the end of the season.
And can we talk about goaltending a little bit? Mm-hmm. Sam had a breakout season his freshman season, and then this season he was stellar as well. Can you kind of talk about his role a little? Well,
anytime you talk about a stellar defense and team defending in general, you're always going to start with the goalkeeper, I think. The goalkeeper is absolutely one of the backbones of the team, and a guy that has got to be there in those big moments, and he was for us this year. Sam's one of those guys that we expect big things from moving forward. He's one of the hardest working guys on the team. He's one of the more athletic guys on the team, always in the lead when it comes to fitness activities. And for a goalkeeper to be in that type of a situation and put himself into those positions is absolutely quality. He has all the drive and all the talent to play at the next level. Now it's about us making sure we do the right things in front of him to get those results so that the eyes can start to turn this direction.
All right, and the last question, it was your first season at Duquesne as head coach. Do you think it was successful?
I think you could classify it as a success. I think we all within the squad left with a little bit of a bitter taste in our mouth. We felt that we could have done more in the A-10 tournament, especially with how we were playing at the end of the season. But you look back and 9-8-1 in year one is solid, especially against some of the talent we were playing. I fully expect us to be in the double digits for wins this coming season. I think that's if you're looking at the natural progression of things and on our vision of where we should be going, that's where we need to be. But yeah, I do think we laid a foundation, and if you look at it from that perspective, we were definitely successful.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach.